Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about issues with the school system. This will cover things like bullying, the curriculum, and exams. I'm just here to talk about the issues that I've noticed while on my schooling journey. Now, this is mainly based on school, not college. College is so different to school. Um, so yeah, let's just get into it. So, first things first is bullying. I mentioned it a little bit in my experience of getting bullied video, but I wanted to talk about that a little bit more. So, obviously, I mentioned how the way that it works is stupid, because in my case, I had to go and waste break or lunch talking about how it made me feel and what they were doing and fill out all these forms and all of this stuff. Do all of this work, which has stressed me out, while I'm already annoyed by the bullies and stuff or whatever the hell's going on. I know certain people that can affect a lot more than it did me. So you have to deal with all of that, and then you have the issue of it doing nothing. It's basically all for nothing. And that's kind of why I didn't do anything about the bullies, is because for me I felt like it was pointless to go to the school, because I'd waste my time, because they just wouldn't turn up to the detentions, or they just wouldn't care about the detention, and then if they didn't go to the detention, the school would phone home, and their parents would either just not care, or, it's just this whole thing where I know certain parents do care about if their kid was bullying, but usually they wouldn't, at least in my experience. It's this whole thing where you waste your time after being put through the bullying, only for it to do nothing, and I think there's definitely something that needs to be done there. Now, I don't know what, because other than being allowed to sit face to face with your bully and talk to them about what's going on, I think would be more beneficial. And I think I could have done with that, just being told to sit in a room with them for an hour. I know I said it about it wasting time, but if you could get your points across on how it was affecting you, and I don't know, how it depends on the severity, of course, but some people do just need a slap, because the way that it works is just so pointless. The detentions, in my experience, do nothing, and yeah, it's this whole thing. I might do a video separately talking about ideas instead of detentions. I feel like that could be quite a good video. But I feel like I've gone on enough about that. So let's move on to the curriculum, because that is a whole mess. So certain things you do need, I need to learn how to talk, I need to learn how to speak, probably is a better word of that. I can't talk, I need to go back and do more English lessons, Jesus. So yeah, the curriculum. I think English should be how to speak, how to read, how to write. That is it. I don't need to learn what Romeo and Juliet said when they were about to kill each other. I don't need to know the entire book of Inspector Calls. There's just so much that is wasted there. Now, not every subject is waste, as I said, there is some parts of English that are useful, most of maths is useful. There's a lot that goes on that is good, for certain people, and for me, engineering was a good thing, but I can see how it would not be as useful for other people. But I don't know anyone in their life that has needed to know some of the stuff that you've been taught in English, or anyone that's needed to use certain things from maths, or dissecting frogs. That should be stuff that should be used in more specific areas, dedicated to areas like college, where it's more specific and you know what you're going to want to learn or do as your job, I think. Now, obviously, they're the only things that I've mentioned, but there is a lot more, you know, that should be added, like taxes and politics and so much more that I think should be included that just isn't. Obviously, I'm not going to name everything that I think should be included because, again, I could do an entire separate video about that and what they should replace it with. But it's just not working at the moment, I think. It's like bare minimum of what we should learn, and there's a lot of stuff that's wasted. So the final thing that I want to talk about is exams. They are just an entire mess. They are just a memory quiz. You know, what can you remember over the past 5 years that you've been learning this stuff? It is pointless. Like, I don't... Some parts were useful, you know. I feel you are actually tested when you're told to design and make a lamp or something like that, you know. In politics, if you are asked to give a debate or something, you know, that is all stuff that I think is useful. But there's a lot of stuff that I feel is wasted, you know, where you're not really tested on the right things, and that kind of links back to the subjects with English, where you're asked about Romeo and Juliet or Mice and Men or, you know, things like that, where you don't need to be asked this stuff. You're not going to be asked this in a job interview, you know. We didn't really spend that much time preparing for job interviews. We did like 6 weeks in total for that, which is quite a long time, but if you think about the fact that that is what the exams are meant to be preparing you for, it's not that long, considering that we spent like almost a year, 2 years on something like Romeo and Juliet or in Spectacles or one of the different things that you learned. It's so pointless and so not needed. Now, I just have a lot of issues with it. But in summary, you know, I feel there's just a lot that's missing that should be added, and there's a lot that's there that should be taken away. There's a lot of issues with the exams just being that memory test. I don't know, like, obviously it all depends on the topic that you're learning about, but there should definitely be a lot more practical to the exams. You know, my geography exam was purely paper-based. I think there should have been stuff where we're, like, asked to talk about certain types of rock or natural disasters. Now, obviously, there can't be that much practical about the second without putting ourselves in danger. But, yeah, computer science, you know, it was mainly paper-based. We didn't have anything where we were told to write a code and make a code for certain things. It's a lot of mess up for no reason. And I feel like that's something that is a common theme within schools. Now, I could continue talking about this all day. There's a lot of other things that I haven't mentioned. There's a lot of things that I would like to talk about, and I might do a part 2. But I feel like I'm just kind of repeating myself here over and over again over the same 3 points because they're the 3 that just annoy me the most. Now, if you would like to see a part 2, let me know in a comment. If you have anything else you'd like to see in that part 2, or if you have anything that you want me to talk about or my opinions on, let me know in a comment. You know, I'm very active down there. Not down, no, not down, you know, in the comment section. Getting mine out of the gutter. So, yeah. I'm sorry this video is kind of a rant about the school system, but there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it. and as I said, I could do a video talking about how I'd fix it, but this is just what needs to change, and I'll kind of leave it up to you guys, because if, you know, it would be great if this video was viral, you know, just thousands of people shared it and liked and all of that stuff, boosted it, and enough people saw it that it could make a change. You know, there's a song, Don't Stay in School, which talks about a lot of these issues, and I feel like there's definitely a change that needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon with the school system. Now, obviously, not everything can change, and not everything is going to be changed for the better. Some of the things that I have mentioned, obviously, where I say that it's a wasted subject, I'm still quite young and may not have had to use that yet, but there's a lot that hasn't been taught that needs to be taught. There's a lot that needs to be taught that has been taught that shouldn't be, and regarding bullying, that's just an entire mess of itself. So, if you enjoyed, if you want to help me spread awareness about this stuff, leave a like, subscribe, all of that usual stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.